Hello and welcome. I am the Restless Kaiser.
No, I'm Johnny B.
I'm Skarnir or Dwayne.
A true fact. But together we are
Morning
Advantage.
Right then,
Yeah.
how is everyone tonight, folks? Have a quick look. We got in the chat. We have Paul Parker is going to catch us in the rerun. Rich John is here. Good evening. Ruth is here. I think every comment Ruth makes is, "Will you do more World of Tanks videos?" We have done one more. It will be out soon.
Yay!
Axe. So apparently he's to take his kid to the hospital, but he's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
Oh.
Charles Latora is here. Nick from Team Clueless Games. Good evening. Friends of General Haig. Ahoy. Live stream crawling again. Just finished on Storm of Steel and popping across for the late night show. Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
Gary, Saffron69. Rosie is here, of course, reminding everyone to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Before you even watch the video, just do that thing now.
Do the thing.
Subs has got a pro decision tonight. He's going to drink a shot every time we say Dakar or Mech. Spreading his bets there. Spreading his bets. Alid is here. Tony Halton is here. I've got everyone scrolling down. Subs making comments about squats. We might talk about them a little bit in a minute. Friends of General Haig says Brian Blessed for the King of Voltan. That would be awesome. Josh Wood is here, as is Andy Biscuits and the Yorkshire Tanky. Reporting from Berlin. Carry on, soldier. Well, that's the comments caught up with. Hobby-wise tonight, I'm still working on these Sarissa Precision because pretty much I have been doing other hobbying. We've actually got some new trees for 15 mil, which I've been working on, but they're downstairs because they're quite messy. I need to do all the gritting now, which is a bit of a mess. So I will be painting the brick course on the bottom of this building.
Nice.
Josh?
Yeah, that goes. Just finished up some basing on the Futsal Miniatures Roman people. You'll see a picture of those in a bit, and a few others as well. A bit of undead and maybe some so high temple guard. Any mechs? Any Dakar mechs on the paint table for you?
I'll build some. Hey.
Woo!
You're gonna build something.
We're gonna build some mixed blister packs of them, metal ones.
Old school.
Metal. Well, some of them are new sculpts and some of them are old school sculpts. Some of the new plastics, like the Commando and stuff, come in. You can get them in metal sculpts if you want, or the Wolverine. These are both the new sculpts.
Yeah, and, it's fantastic and everything, but nobody cares. So, how about you tell everyone at home who you are and what you do?
Who I am and what I do. I am Dwayne or Skarnir, depending if you know me from playing Battletech or from playing Warhammer 40k. I haven't been doing much of anything lately, if I'm being honest. My poor computer died on me, you know what I mean? And I've been busy rejigging the hobby area. But I've been buying Battletech stuff, putting Battletech stuff together, helping to run games with some of my mates who are veteran Battletech players. At local conventions, we've been getting some games going. We're looking to get a regular gaming night going for Battletech, starting at the 24th of April, I think is a Thursday. So we'll be hopefully getting people in Dublin, you know what I mean, together to play Battletech. We know you're out there. It's just a case of finding you. So
very nice.
Getting some hobby done, getting some games played, and procrastinating as always, you know.
Good stuff. True fact. So you showed us a lovely watch of what I'm assuming is that Raoul Partha that still does those, the old one?
Raoul Partha UK still sell old sculpts because I think that's the license that they had, but they don't sell the newer ones. So these are Iron Wind Metals, which are an American.
Oh, Iron Wind do them.
Iron Wind Metals do the new ones, so you can get the newer sculpts, but you can still get old sculpts off of Raoul Partha UK. I'm sure whatever licensing was based off of sculpts, so they still sell old sculpts. So if you're in the UK, you can still get some of the olds.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look at them Ironwind ones, see what the new ones are like, or newer ones.
Yeah, like some of the new sculpts are pretty sweet. Like, I don't know if you can even, maybe if I do.
Do they compare to the whatever Labs plastic ones that came out?
Oh, they're the same sculpts, but they're like ball and socket sort of. Well, hold on, I'll try and put the.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Put
it's
you on-
the like
put you on
the
the big screen.
updated sculpts. Hold on. Ta-da!
Oh, look at that! Some Dakamex of Meckington.
So
That was for you subs. What's that? Thunderbolt?
it is a Thunderbolt if it'll focus. Way out with that now. Come on, behave yourself. No. Oh, maybe.
Oh, 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 oh!
Autofocus.
We
The
had it.
bane of my existence. But yes,
Your
this
thumbnails look magic though.
in all their glory, these are the newer sculpts. So, for instance, this is new Metal Locust, and that's the plastic sculpt that it's based off of.
Okay,
And
that's interesting. Okay,
one and
because I've
the
been looking
same.
for the plastic ones, but like they seem to be like impossible to get hold of. So
Yeah,
knowing that
to get hold of.
you can get them in metal, that's good to know. Thank you.
Can indeed. There's quite a
John, I
few.
don't know if I've shown you before. If you're at all interested in Battletech, I have a giant bag of plastic mechs downstairs.
Glorious.
I feel like you may have.
They're the old plastics. Was that Ralph Arthur?
I didn't even know they did old plastics.
I don't think they're real party. If they're like these old plastics, they're like from ye oldie box sets. They look a bit skew-if, but they do the job.
Do the
They're all,
job.
they're bit cast
Single-
with the base and everything. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
not beautiful, but they work.
Yeah, they're not going to win any beauty competitions, but you know they still
Uh,
kick ass.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well,
Cool.
so Dwayne, you're one of these people who has a channel that was like almost entirely Warhammer 5 years ago, and you hardly do any Warhammer now, right?
Yeah, I pretty much used to be like just 40k orcs, but I kind of fell out of love with 40k. I still have my orcs. I don't ever plan on selling them, but I used only recently. I used to buy into everything like Kill Team and Apocalypse and all those extra things. But I'm letting go of those bits and pieces. You know what I mean? It's like you buy a box set and it's sitting around for like 2 or 3 years and you haven't touched it, and it's just like, look, this is just taking up space I don't have. So it's letting go of bits and pieces. But I've sort of leaned more into BattleTech. I liked their gaming system back in the day, but the miniatures they had were subpar. Then they started bringing out more updated plastic, one-piece plastics that are actually pretty nice. You know what I mean? And at a reasonable price. You know, the price point to get into the game isn't that expensive. So I enjoy playing the gaming system. That's what really brought me to BattleTech was the rule system. I like the rule system, the detail in it. You know what I mean? And I found I was just kind of chasing nostalgia with 40k. It wasn't really doing what I wanted it to.
Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, we've played a handful of games of 40k in 9th edition and really not feeling it. Although go on, John.
When we play it our way, I don't mind it. But playing it like as you're meant to, no love for me, thank you.
But that's fine though. Like there's enough variety out there that you don't have to be stuck to one game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you've not watched any of our 40k content, and I don't blame you if you haven't, what we mean by our way is just the thing that was the real killer for me with 9th edition was the new mission format, which is very much an ITC bean count to victory. Now you've got some primaries, you've got some secondaries, and then you've got some tertiaries, and you got some score in the command phase, some score when you. I was just like, get this crap out of my game. I don't want anything to do with this. You know, it's like football. 20 odd guys play for an hour and a half, and there's one goal, and that's the winner. You know,
yeah,
okay. Sometimes there's more than that, but games can be great without needing a lot of complexity. And it was a level of complexity for me that I just wasn't going to enjoy. I was never prepared to commit the time. What's really interesting is I run a tournament for kids, which is just starting up again now because I work in a school. And I just sent out the tournament mission pack, which is basically the way that we play it with terminal objectives. You know, it's 4 turns. At the end of turn 4, are you stood in the right place? Yes, no. And with line breaker and slay the warlord, a couple of things like that, but nothing much. And the first comment back from one of the schools was one of their kids saying, you know, well, can we not play the new Grand Tournament mission pack? I'm like, no, mate, we're not playing that because the younger kids don't understand it at all. And it's a thing that I have a real problem with in gaming in general. It's one of the things I don't like about list building. Is the more complex the system is, the more it leverages advantage in the hands of the more experienced player. And that is the total inverse of how you want a game to be. You want the new guy to have some sort of chance. The more complicated it is, the bigger the gap between the experienced and the inexperienced.
Yeah, that learning curve disadvantage, I get you, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, you can have a great army, you've paid a fortune, you painted it beautifully, you turn up for the game, but you've chosen the wrong secondary objectives for this matchup, mate. It's like, all right, okay, yeah. You know, it's noob bashing is what it is. Anyway, that's my feeling about that type of thing. I like my games to be gamey, you know, which is why John can win sometimes, and sometimes he can win hard.
True.
Andy Biscuit says, a bit like John, he looks a bit skew, but does the job.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Appreciate that.
Second night on the ale there, John, Gary has pointed out.
Yeah, same again.
I'll pass it
more Czech beer. Yum.
Yeah, so Tony Halton's got those ones that I've got. Heavy Gear is the best mech game. Don't know that one. Well, there's a video game, isn't there?
I remember some of my friends had like a role-playing game for Heavy Gear. I remember they used to do role-playing games. They're kind of mecha-esque.
Is Friends of General Haig says, is there a defined fluff for Battletech? And if so, what is it? I mean, it does have quite an involved lore, doesn't it?
Dude,
property.
The lore is like, this is a map of the latest sort of source book over here is the Battletech Hinterlands. So this is the latest lore that's come out, and basically it's like the whole point of this is it's like an area for you and your mates to sort of carve out an empire of your own. So they literally, every planet has a name. It tells you the type of planets. It gives you the distance between the stars. It gives you the recharge time on every star. So when you decide we're going from here to here while we're playing our campaign, you can plot like how long it's going to, like this is just a map. Like
that's the mental.
The map has detail in it and all the different factions, and you know what I mean? But like Battletech has a lot of lore, and it's ongoing as well. So it's literally, this is some new stuff. They move the timeline along. Yeah,
and they're quite different, right? Especially in relation to there's, as well as being factions within it, there are like there's like meta factions, isn't there? So there's the clanners, and then there's the inner sphere people, right?
The clangers.
The clangers. Yeah, but it changes over time as well. So it's like some factions like rise and fall. Some become more powerful. Some die off. They're killed off. You know what I mean? So there's like flux, different people, different players. You know, different factions will have different leaders over time. Some will be great and some not so great for them. So, you know, they'll wax and wane. Yeah, in the timeline now, it's like it's far enough advanced. I think the year is like 2150 or something along that line. So the clanners have been in space for a while now, and it's like the guys who invaded are in the inner sphere space, and they don't know what's happened back in like the clan homeworlds. They've been cut off and all this type of stuff. So there's some shenanigans going on. You know what I mean?
And the clan is then for anyone that doesn't know. So there's the whole setup. It's a bit of a fallen empire type situation, right? The kind of controlling body has the empire or the universe is no longer united, and people from outside of it who have technology from before have come back, and they're the clanners, aren't they?
Yes, so that would be the era where that would be very dominant would be the clan invasion era, which is what they do. So that's in around the year 3051. That's when the clans, so basically the clans were the Star League Defense Force. They were part of the Terran hegemony. So they were like, there was a Star Lord, and the guy in charge of all the factions. There was a Star Lord, and then there was a usurper who killed him in a civil war. The Amaris Civil War, and then basically the guy in charge of that faction decided instead of them being broken up piecemeal and having to deal with the houses, they buggered off. So they took all their tech, they took 80% of their forces, their fleet, and they buggered off, and no one heard of them. And basically they set up a whole culture and thing, and then eventually they come back and they're like, we'll set these guys straight, we'll show them the way,
Yeah.
So that becomes clan invasion. But there's periods after that as well where they become more integrated into the area that they go into, the inner sphere. And then, there's
caught up in its politics.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's different eras. So it's I like that about it. It's like it's a science fiction game, but it's also kind of like a historical game at the same time because there's different eras. And then there's different variants of mechs in those areas, and different technologies get developed or rediscovered as well in their eras. You know what I mean? So it'd be like playing an early war era, and someone wants to use a Tiger II. It's like, well, that wasn't around then, mate. But we can play a later era, and you can use your Tiger II, and I'll just use crappy tech, but I'll have more of them because they're cheaper.
Yeah,
pretty good.
But it allows it because it's like lost technology. You can have all of the technology in any of the periods. It's just within the fluff that was more or less common.
Oh yeah. Like if it's just I'm more into the sort of narrative style of it. But if you wanted to, they'll give you dates. Like they even tell you the planets and the factories that specific mechs or their like specific parts are built in. It's like, oh, well, we source our large lasers from over here and that got invaded. So we decided, we don't get the lasers anymore. So this is why this variant exists, because we have a surplus of autocannons that we then put it. You know what I mean? That type of stuff happens in the game, which is kind of cool.
So we've had this. I mean, we had a very similar conversation last time, I think. But the game Battletech, if you played it 30 years ago and you went out and bought it today, you would recognize that game.
Yes, yeah. There's been refinements of it and updates, but you would recognize it. Yeah. You'd have no issue recognizing. You'd know it was BattleTech, and you'd be able to start playing very quickly.
And for any of you guys that know your hex and counter stuff, BattleTech to me feels a lot like Advanced Squad Leader in the way that its rules work. In that it's been around for a long time, the core mechanics haven't really changed. But people pick and mix which particular supplements they want to use, which particular bits. There's lots and lots of rules out there, but you don't need to know them all to play the game. But you might want to use some of them in the scenario.
And there's a couple of rule sets as well. There's a more streamlined version of the game that doesn't use hexes at all, which is Alpha Strike, and some people prefer that. So there's more than one way to play the game. Yeah.
So that's the thing that's come out more recently, isn't it? It's Alpha Strike. It doesn't have hexes, and it doesn't have scratch off the ablative armor on this. I always felt, BattleTech, they should have done like, scratch cards.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That'd be an expensive way to play, but more fun, right? You sit there with your tuppence every time you take damage.
Sure, yeah.
But Alpha Strike doesn't have that, so you're more able to play with multiple lances.
So you get like a little card. You still like mark stuff off, but it's way more streamlined. It's like a mech will do a certain amount of damage out to a certain range. and you just do that damage and you knock it off the armor, so you'll have like armor values. So you do have a little bit of that, but it's a hell of a lot more streamlined. It's you know, it's more designed to play bigger games and played quicker. So it's a different beast, but it's still, you know, it's still good. I like it. I like that as well. Yeah.
And because of that granularity and that complexity, it is a game that even with 4 mechs would probably take you 3 or 4 hours unless you really know what you're doing. It's not a pick up 1 hour game.
No, like if you're doing like you want a quick game, you'll probably have a mech each if you're playing the classic rule set, and you know you'll go at it. You know what I mean?
So in terms of the Alpha Scribe, then what kind of scales and ranges are you talking about? So if you that mech that you were just looking at, that was it a direwolf? How far does it move? How far does it shoot?
What's its movement is 6 inches. It's like short range is like 6 inches. I think medium range is 24 and long range is 48 inches.
All right, so you can comfortably play on a 4-foot table.
Yeah, like 4x4 or 6x4. That's what it's designed to be played on.
Right.
We played using Drop Zone Commander terrain. I think it was the cardboard.
That's 10 mil cardboard scenery.
So that stuff looked really good. We played that at the convention when we were playing. My friend had the toils, so we played on that, and that looked decent. And it's you can get you can get a game in on. You don't need a massive area. Like you can do like 4x4 would be comfortable as well.
Yeah. Sounds like I'm tempted by Alpha Strike. I bought that the recruit box because it's got the basic rules in it and so forth, beginner or whatever it's called. Yeah. And looked at it and it's like, I think this game is going to take too long for videoing. It's like there's going to have to be some heavy editing.
Extra time. Yeah, so if the game's going to take long and you're videoing on top of it, I think people don't realize like when you're videoing the battle reports as well, they become longer again.
Yes.
You know, so I can understand that.
And they become more stressful. I've never become comfortable with openly winging it on camera, and it's one of the things I think I need to get used to. Like if you're playing down a club and it's I don't know, oh, can you advance and charge over that hedge? I don't know. And the problem is that on camera, it's like, all right, let's stop. Let's find that in the rules. And that might be in a number of different places in the rule book. In the club, we would just agree that it was okay or not okay. And I think I've never become comfortable with that on camera. And I think I need to learn to find a way with that because you stop and then you got 20 minutes searching a rule book to find the answer, which may not be in the charge section.
But that's one of my winning tactics. That's how I win games. I discombobulate the Kaiser by asking random rules questions.
Yeah. So I have to go and check them. Alpha reduces bookkeeping and simplifies speed to speed things up. Yeah, definitely not interested in doing that. Right, shall we have a look at some pictures then? Dwayne's got some pictures. John's got some pictures. And I've got some pictures.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Where do we want to start, John?
Where do we want to start? Well, mine's just like random stuff I've been painting, so we could get that out of the way.
Yeah. Every time I do this, I get this wrong. Right. I have to open it there first.
Boop, boop, boop. Because I send it in a weird fashion as well.
Right there.
Yeah,
here we go.
Just a montage. So, right, that's what I'm working on right now. It's just 4 civilians that are going to be guarding. Well, not guarding. They're going to be like living in the camp of Minimus Maximus for SPQR. I'm just finished the
tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow.
Yes, it must be done.
I mean, you're not going to see it tomorrow, but you are going to see it within the next few weeks. Part 4 of SPQR. It's going to happen. So, so that's that one.
So they'll be in that. These are the tents. Now, I upgraded them. I've given them the little doofers to make it look like they have reasonably scaled leather patches all sewn together. Because, you're right. It looked really weird. Are they on Oreo bases? Yes, Andy, they are or were. I'm changing that right now, though. So yeah, 6 tenths. That's going to be the basis of one of the scenarios. I hope maybe tomorrow's one.
Yeah. So what have you filmed this on, John? What have you taken this picture with this beautiful background there of
oh, that's outside. I just put them in the garden. Yeah. No. So they're really expensive, pointless, like A4 sized bits of grass stuff that you see at the bottom there.
Diorama fields.
Yeah. There's a little
Phoenix or whoever.
Yeah, for like 12 quid for an A4 sheet. It's ridiculous. But you do get a million tufts on there, which if you really wanted to, you could just pull them apart and base your stuff forever. And the background's just a rail scenic doofer.
Right.
Mounted on a bit of card.
Yeah.
I bought another one, actually.
When he'd originally done these, if you've not seen, these are the Renedra tents, and they're basically each side is in 3 parts. And you'd seen these pictures of Roman leather tents?
Yes.
And it was like, yeah, but what animal is that big to get the hide off it?
Yeah, it's like massive, like skin an elephant whole.
Yeah.
And even the pictures I'd used as reference were, were segmented like that. Look, oosh! That's a Kaiser's one.
It is. My miniature should never be looked at this closely. So this is some goats. That's what it is. I don't realize how badly I have not got any flock anywhere near the feet of these. It looks really obvious.
Well, they've been eating that specific point, and now they've just moved on to that point that they've
their
eaten.
own ass.
Well, they hate it first. Now they've moved on to it.
And the sheep.
At the time of, yeah.
So this was an attempt to deal with. Sorry, going back. The 15 mil games that we have to try and put a little bit more life in. One of the problems I have with a lot of war games tables and it comes from watching historical dramas, is they have these castles in moorlands, and you're looking around saying, what do these people eat? And there ain't no Tesco down the road. The food they eat is grown where they live. So where is it? Where are the animals? Where are the crops? Because nowadays, farming in the UK isn't necessarily hugely effective, so people don't do it. They just let a lot of land has gone pasture, especially around castles. It's parkland, but it certainly wasn't in any kind of historical period. So putting some livestock on the board is something that I'd wanted to do for a while. And we picked these up at Salute, I think. I don't remember the company. This is going into the games that we have actually recorded. You can expect to see. So we've done a kill team here, as you can see. This is John's Primaris Assault Intercessors, and these are my, what are they called?
Plague Bearers.
Plague Bearers, yeah. The downside with this, this is cropped from the video because I haven't even got any photographs for it yet, is there's a lot of guys that cockshot in this because of the camera. There's a lot of that.
That's a treat for everyone.
So I went the wrong way. Right, this way. Right. Here we go.
That way. So yeah, this is hopefully something we're going to be doing soon, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
Test of honor. So Kaiser's kindly. Test of honor. We can't do that. Remember, we can't do that. So this is the So High dudes. You have seen a picture of one of them before, but I'm making progress. So I went and bought them their speed paints from Army Painter, and I've decided I really want to try and do as much as I can with them to try and speed up the process. And so far, it has. It's not like I haven't already tried this with contrast paints, but hey ho. So yeah, bit of fun.
And this is just them from a longer shot. So am I right in thinking though, the flesh? Tell us about the flesh with the speed paints.
So the flesh was an accident. The colour that you see there, the tone on them, which I quite like, is a bit tanned. That's actually, what's it called? Hardened leather. The perfect skin tone. I thought I'd picked up their skin tone, which was Crusader skin. And one of them, I think their banner bearer's got it on his, not that you can see it in this shot because he's out of focus, but it is a lighter tone.
Right.
But yeah, hardened leather is a really good base tone for like your Caucasian skin.
But you're still working up with that, right? You're still using several layers for your flesh.
I am still working up. I'm focusing on the skin though. The rest of it, the black and the yellow, is just straight on with an edge highlight just to pick out the yellow. But yeah, so it is still a hybrid of paint, but
Very
predominantly speed paint. Yeah.
Now look at these beauties.
Well, there you go. This is squats may have been gone for some, but for me, they're a constant, right? Squats are for life.
Squats are for life. Look at this, how thick this paint is.
I'm just going to say these are not painted by me. These are
eBay Pro painted, mate.
Yes, eBay Pro painted, and they will be stripped. And that centre guy's head will be realigned onto his shoulders.
Oh,
maybe.
I love this one's shiny. I wonder if this looks like an enamel paint, maybe.
Possibly. Find out when I strip it.
It's of that vintage, right? And then this one.
This is the house. It's the Renedra Ramshackle house that I picked up, and I really enjoy painting stuff like this. This one can be used in a lot of the ancient stuff. Well, not ancient stuff. What the hell am I on about? The World War II stuff. We could maybe get away with using this. Maybe some Wild West. Maybe.
I was going to say it looks a bit American.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
but it's just wood, isn't it? It's wooden stuff.
So, on the subject of other games we've been playing, this is Saffron69 or Gary. This is Project Z, which we played on Monday and filmed again. So you'll be seeing that fairly soon. This is it's all his stuff. Yeah. So that's the pictures. So there'll be
that's our pictures.
In the coming month, there's a World of Tanks miniatures game video, which is what those 50mm sheep were on. There's a Project Z game, and there's a Kill Team game, all waiting to be edited. And SPQR tomorrow. We're hoping to get back ahead of the schedule, because a period of illness meant I literally put the last thing I had any footage of out on Friday.
Wow. Oosh.
So, anyway. What about you, Scar? And have you got some Battletech pictures to show us?
Hold on, give me a second.
Oh,
Sure do. Yeah,
working on it.
So I have a few pictures of. I need to do a screen share, don't I? Yes, I do. Hey, buttons.
Whoop whoop.
Oh, you're doing the screen share, are you? I'll wait for that to come up.
Where's the slides? When is it? Screen share.
Friends of General Hay wants to know where you get your diorama sheets from, by the way, John.
That's a very good question. There's a local-ish shop near me, out near Barton le Clay. It's called the Model Box. I think he has a website. You may be able to order it, or at least get in touch with him there. But I'm sure you'll be able to find them. They're just an A4 sheet, really.
Yeah, but which company makes them?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I can't remember. So that's what I'm saying. If you look at the Model Box, hopefully there'll be something on there, on a website of some description. Look at these bad boy mecha Dakar. Dakar.
So this is like the grid style one, the classic one.
Classic.
We ran 2 games over in Minute, which is is west of the city. And the first day we played like classic style, where it was just your mech died, you got a new mech, and you just played. We played that through the day so that people could participate. So that's what's going on here. It's all clan mechs, just
all the powerful ones.
Well, it was random, so you could have got a powerful one, you could have got a weak one. It was a mixed bag. Just all busy knocking the stuff in out of each other.
Nice. How did the people find it? Were they experienced gamers that had come along, or were you just like grabbing noobs off the street and like saying, "Here"?
Most of them had played before, but yeah, one or two people were passers by and new people, and they enjoyed it. They thought it was pretty cool.
This
was the second day when we were using that drop zone commander terrain, and we
perfect. Flood of mechs hiding behind that building.
So we had, I think it was the Inner Sphere versus the Clan, and I was using the Inner Sphere guys, and the Clan stuff is way more powerful. So they had 15 mechs, and I had 20 or 25.
Whoa!
I outnumbered them, but they do a hell of a lot more damage than
Please tell me you were using Alpha Strike for this game.
Oh yeah, this was all Alpha Strike. So these guys here.
Look at that line of them hiding behind them around the corner.
Yeah, but see, these guys have special rules that allows them to fire indirectly. So I was using you'd create forces. So this is a lance. The four of them is like a formation. It's a lance. And there are like special rules that you can use for lance formations that will give you bonuses, but we didn't bother because I didn't build this force. This was built by someone else. So I said it to him, I was like, I'll just manage the mechs without any extra special rules. But this sneaky boy here, this grey dude, is an enemy mech. Part of his light star. They run them in 5s. So they've outflanked, and then these two boys here are mine. So I've had my missile guys at the back. He's flanked, and now I've had to counter with these dudes. If you get me,
escort him off the premises.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Not with them shields. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was, and then some of his main mechs as well. I pulled shenanigans. Oh, wow. So this is one of my light dudes that, like, I think he moves like 16 inches or something like that. And I was flanking and trying to distract his main battle mechs and getting some rear shots. So you do there's a lot of like flanking, maneuvering. You know, that's not lost. And it was just this is the melee. You know, it was just madness at this stage. I had some of my light guys flanking. He has some of his heavy hitters here. The way the battle was moving, it was sort of, there was a bit of movement in it. There was him trying to flank left and distracting me, and then, you know, me with me missile support, and then I had a battle lance up here trying to hold the line, hold him back while I deal with his light mechs. It was good, yeah.
I mean, it does look very impressive, especially even with using the drop zone commander stuff. That's really cool. I mean, big old fight. Any death from above during that game, and could you kick the bus and use it as a weapon?
I think we had like the vehicles slowing us down. I'm sure we could have introduced drills for it or decided stuff on the fly. Did anyone get death from above? I can't remember. I think somebody got shot off the top of this building. Yeah, this guy here. This is one of my boys. He's jumped up onto the building. I think he got shot down or something like that. A previous game we played, I did death from above someone as like a sort of a last stand type thing and managed to pull it off, and it was hilarious. But yeah, this was the game. This was the spread we had. We brought some boxes to try and, you know, show people what they get, and all the cards that I have for me little units. I think of them like units in groups of 4. And that's what I was trying to do.
The battle you just described sounds a lot more interesting than most Battletech games ever, just because of the scale of it. I don't just mean looking at it. I mean, there was a play and counterplay there, you know.
Yeah, so that's like, even this picture here pretty much shows you the main battle. So it's like my missile support guys are here, firing indirectly. His unit has come down on his right flank, and they've actually maneuvered into the rear echelons. I sent my scouts up to initially engage him, but they didn't hold him. So then I run interference with my scouts in his rear, and then I have to bring like a battle lance around to help deal with his scouts. In the meantime, I have a battle lance on the right flank and the center trying to hold his heavier hitters. He was two other units. So that's how the game played out. It was really good though. I really enjoyed it. This is a big game. Like this was a big game for the convention. But yeah, it was still fun. It was really
and realistically, you just could never find the time to play that game with classic Battletech.
You'd spend the whole weekend playing this with classic Battletech. Like you would. You'd start on a Friday, and you know, you'd pack
not
up
be finished on the Sunday.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, no, it's bigger. Like obviously, you can play bigger games and get them done if you have people to to manage their own units. You know what I mean? This is why this game was so big in one extent. You know, so people could participate if they wanted to. But the two of us ran it. So we could just give people like 4 mechs and away you go.
And was this just at a local store then, or you said, oh, it was a convention?
No, this was in Maynooth College. So it was a gaming convention called the Minicon. It was run by the Students' Union. It's run by their Students' Union. So we were in there. They have a dedicated Student Union building. So that's where we played. We played in the main hall, and there was a couple of other games. There's some guys playing. I think they were 15 mil. They were playing like a World War I battle. I think it was like the British against the Iraqis or something like that in World War I. I can't remember. I'm trying to.
Oh, right, like Lawrence of Arabia.
Something like that. Yeah. There was like trench warfare or something. They were attacking each other, but it was in the desert somewhere. And then there was another game going on that was
the Turks, maybe.
Might have been the Turks. Yeah, it might have been with the Turks. There was another game, a 28 mil game, being played with a skirmish rule set that I forgot the name of, but they were basically fighting in Venice. So there was a few war games going on. There was people playing like retro games. There was a lot of artists there, student artists or artists selling their art, and there was a tournament going on for like a first-person shooter, which I didn't grab the name of, but there was 4 or 5 teams there all competing against each other. So there was a lot going on, like for a small.
Yeah, sounds
great.
All the things.
So, yeah.
And that's something you want to do a bit more of, is it, Skarnir?
Yeah, we're going to
travel the country.
Yeah, we're going to be doing more conventions. Like there's a crowd down in Limerick that run the Irish Nationals, so that happens in June. So I went down there last year, and I'll be going again to play in the Nationals that we have. Hopefully, the idea that I'd like to have is to build up enough of a scene here so that we could set up like a feeder tournament for people to qualify. You know what I mean? To build it up enough so that, you know, if people, the top whatever guys would, you know, hopefully like qualify into the Irish Nationals, and then they'll go down to Limerick. But they're like, there's players that come from all over down into Limerick. So there's guys from Germany, and there's I think a Scottish guy won it last year.
Wow.
Some English as well. Like there's a few people. I think there was a Spanish dude. Like there's
somehow Limerick's ended up being this centre of Battletech.
They've kept the torch going for so long. You know what I mean? Like they've been consistent, and they've ran tournaments there for so long. They've been at it since like the game started. You know, and there's been people in Dublin, but I think it's like waxed and waned here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they've been consistent with it. So I'm quite happy to go there for nationals. It means I get to spend the weekend on the piss up as well. So it's happy days.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever make it over there, I'm very keen to try a few games of it with you.
Oh yeah, man, I'd be more than happy to. I'm trying to like I need to get like a lot of paint on miniatures, because like the Kickstarter that they have, I had like 12 mechs beforehand, and after the fact, I think I've like 300 or something. I've a lot.
I mean, you opened like 25 over Christmas, right? You did one a day for your advent calendar.
Oh yeah. I did the blister packs. I did like I decided to do that on a whim. I think it was like the 3rd of December. I think somebody had an advent calendar on Facebook for fishing or something like that, and I was like, this is a great idea. I know what I'll do. I'll buy in a load of them. We'll do it. And I did every day, like every day.
So they're the same 15 mechs in those things that you've already got dozens of.
Yes, yeah. Well, yeah, there was no point of it for me, really. There really wasn't, but it's just something to do. Like, I thought it'd be fun to do like an advent calendar.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. General Haig's just found out that what those scenic grass mats are. There's quite a few. I'm gonna have to revisit and get a few more of those, because I do like them.
They're really expensive for what they are, though.
For what they are, yeah, massively.
So what are they supposed to be used for, though? Are you supposed to like put them down for if you're creating what they call them, vignettes or something? I forget. Like
literally,
making a scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Making a scene, mate. making a scene. You see a lot of them,
which makes perfect sense because they don't want to cover a 6-foot table with it. They want
Fact.
That's understandable.
They just want a little bit for a scene. Right. Well,
what we got? We've still got 15 minutes left. What can we talk about?
We talk about squats, mate. Squats. Because because it raises a couple of points, doesn't it? One is the you had some squats. What's his name said something about them earlier. But it's back to that Games Workshop thing, and it is fascinating because like Skarnir said earlier, and we all do it, the pile of shame thing. When you're following that hobby, their products, they release something and you buy it.
Yeah.
And we all bloody do it. I had a Sisters of Battle Army. Never got any paint on it. Sold the whole lot. Still in the boxes. An army. Yeah. Why would I do that?
Just because, I mean, there was a chance you might have modelled it and painted it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most of it's nostalgia. And as Sub says, GW trading on nostalgia. Yeah, some of the times. If they're not trading on nostalgia, it's trading on meta. Like, I wish I'd bought shares in those Void Weaver things from the Harlequins, because I've heard they're selling quite well at the moment.
It is curious because one of the things that Games Workshop has said over the years many times is they're a model company, not a games company.
Yeah.
And we're playing the game. We're like, you really need to fix these rules. Stop saying you're a model company. It's like, no. There's a lot of people like me who mostly buy the models and mostly don't play the game.
Yeah.
And I like the models. I don't like their pricing strategy. I don't like their business model. But there is something about them. I mean, I've seen this trailer for these dwarves and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's not like we haven't got alternative squats out already, right? I mean, you've had a few of the Mantic ones, which you absolutely adored.
Oh,
right?
the Mantic ones, man. I mean, it's an early Mantic product, isn't it?
It is, yeah. They were, to be fair.
And therefore, to be a little bit fair to them, it's not a new plastic kit by anybody's standards. Therefore, but those space dwarves don't fit together. The bodies and arms and the ball and socket joint, which is the chest to the legs, doesn't fit. I'm just straight up doesn't fit, mate. You can make it fit by having gaps, or just accepting that fact. But when you've handled the Space Marine or something where everything fits perfectly, going back to that, I was just like, this is not a good product.
No, quality good.
Yeah, and they've got the Mantic ones have a very, not so much the infantry, but the characters and the dreadnoughts and stuff, very much Warhammer dwarf aesthetic. Like big smashy anvil men. And
that's exactly what it is. Yeah, I mean,
I don't like it.
It is run by Ronnie Renton.
It's a real comedy dwarf look that isn't actually funny. For me, it's the naff aesthetic. So where are you on squats, John? You've seen the new models. Are you fizzy for squats?
I've seen a new model.
Yeah,
and it is radically different from the ones you may have seen earlier in the stream. The padded vest, everything else. I don't mind. Huh?
No trikes.
No trike. Well, we don't know yet. There might be trikes. We don't know. There might be trikes. There might be. I doubt it though. I think they're going to take it in a very new direction, which is good. That's fresh. Is it going to make people happy? No. I've already seen plenty of people say, "Oh my god, these are the worst models I've ever seen."
A model.
What's going on?
This is the worst.
Yeah, a model. Yeah, this is terrible. And I think that's another thing that puts me off of GW stuff at the moment. Is it's a pretty toxic community. Let's face it.
It really is.
And
parts, yeah.
I don't want any part of that. Thanks. I'll collect the miniatures. It'll be nice. Yeah, hopefully the squats will be quite sexy.
Just make the hobby your own. That's what I'm.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, we are.
That's part of why I just sort of went off and started doing Battletech more. I'm like, I wasn't enjoying 40k. It's like I don't like the style of the sculpts now. The CAD style, it's not my thing. I don't like the rule set, how it plays. You know, I'm not a massive fan of the new lore, so I'm like, why exactly am I buying this again?
Because you're about $2,000 in and hundreds of hours.
Yeah, man.
But you know, it's the freedom, the sense of freedom of being able to just go, look, it's not making me happy anymore. So
no,
you know,
no,
just let go. You know what I mean?
And that's a hard thing as a content creator, though, isn't it? It is a hard thing as a content when you've in your case you've built up an audience over years who come for Orks, and you're not talking 40k no more. I mean,
not as much. Like, I'll still talk 40k. I'll still talk shop with people, but like, I'm not. I found the problem with 40k, especially what it's turned into now, is it's all or nothing, and I wasn't willing to stay with it because it's like you constantly have to stay up to date with rules, the constant releases, this FAQ, this new rule set, and it just demands more of your time. And I'm like, the input is not equivalent to the enjoyment regarding the output for me. So I was like, nah, it wasn't worth it in that regard. Doesn't mean I'm quitting 40k. Like I the prospect of scratch building or converting, Plasticraic and doing my own thing with it. You know what I mean? I'll make a grot tank out of a Meng Toon tank, Tiger tank for the crack. It'll be fun. It won't be game winning, but it'll look sweet, like,
I think I've certainly seen over the years quite a few kind of kit bashed Ork World War II look. They've got the Stahl helm in a Panzer IV or whatever else.
Oh yeah, I mean, even some of the third party sellers, really. I think it's Tromlek, the whole range of those great coated Orks.
Yeah,
Get smiles and stuff. Yeah, proper. It's really good. Why is it so? That's a very good question, Mini Warmer. Why is it so hard for 40kers to try other games, like games with low point systems, etc.? There's tons of cool games out there. Just curious. I think guys have touched on it there. It's the time investment and the money investment. You kind of get sucked in, right, with Games Workshop. And if you want to stay in it, you've got to be 100% in it. You have to keep up to date with the rules, the FAQs, the new metas, the new bits and bobs, because the majority of the players play it that way.
This is the grand illusion, isn't it? Is they say play it your way. Almost everyone you talk to will say you play it the way you want to, and then when you talk to somebody and say, "You want a game of 40k on Thursday?" and saying, "Yeah, how many? So should we play £50?" Oh no, I only want to use points, and then I want to use grand tournament pack. It's like, right, what happened to the just play it without all this shit if you want? The reality is, people have been sucked into the belief that is the way to play it.
It's a snowball effect. It's become the most popular way of playing.
No,
and
I reckon the people who get the best enjoyment out of 40k are people who they're in a group of mates. Maybe there's 4 to 6 of them. They're war gamers and they just do their own thing with it. I reckon those people get the best out of it. You know, with any game.
Yeah. I think they get an equal level of enjoyment. I've seen witness to many a sort of group which are heavily into the meta and are, massively into that, and they're enjoying it. They're just enjoying it their way. It's not my way.
Yeah. But I think they enjoy the Facebook chat group more than they enjoy the games that they play.
Oh, I love watching that. Yeah, the local group. It's like every time I look at it, it's quiet for a while, and there's 160 messages, and it's like, oh my god, you can get this new meta unit. It's awesome.
It all kicks
off. It's just fun to watch.
Going back to working with the kids, right? Is every Friday night I have a lot of 11 to 16-year-olds playing various games, but mainly Warhammer, and what they play by no definition approaches anything like Warhammer's match play. Some of those kids, need help to know what saving throw is, but they play every Friday, and they definitely enjoy it. And they are not playing anything. Each is playing his own game, kind of thing. There's no consistency in the rules. They're just playing the bits that they understand, and they're very happy doing it. And I kind of have that as always to look at that and thinking, I think they enjoy their games at 40k more than I enjoy mine.
Well, what age is it? Like 9, 10, 11, 12? Like older again?
11 to 16. It's high school. But so it's not that they're trying to do it wrong. It's that they don't know all of the rules, and they don't know that they don't know the rules.
Yeah.
So they're just
same as me, no doubt, when I played second ed.
To give you an example, I had one of the kids bought what are they called? Grey Knights. His new army is Grey Knights. He's been playing with it for 6 weeks, and he doesn't know the psychic rules. Do you know?
Not important.
Models.
It
still
looks
not
cool, mate. That's all that matters. You know?
Yeah, and he is thoroughly enjoying his new army.
Good.
But that's the scale at which, like, they don't need to know all of the rules to enjoy it. This is the Psychic Space Marine army, and I don't know the psychic rules.
Has anybody gone back to a game they played around that age group, like 11 to 16? Have they ever gone back to a game and then realised that they had absolutely zero idea? Example, second edition. I thought I knew it. I thought I knew that game. But reading it as an adult, I'm like, I don't remember half of this. I'm pretty sure I used to do it a completely different way. Is there any game systems that you don't like? Battletech, Skarnir, you said, when did you start playing Battletech?
I started messing with Battletech. It wasn't very young. I was the first game in systems I would have gamed with would have been Warhammer Fantasy. And I've gotten my hands on the 6th edition rulebook, but like I think this first sort of rule sets for me would have been 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy. And I remember mucking around with that and then reading the rule set for it later. And I wasn't even aware that there was like flyers could fly off on a different table and then come down, and like there's all lapping around. There's all these different mechanics I didn't even know existed. I was just like, shoot, charge, attack. You know what I mean? So probably 5th edition fantasy for me would be that. And like
that's the one.
Tour Dead 40k as well. It was I don't remember the ins and outs of the mechanics. It was just like move, shoot, fight each other, that sort of thing. I don't think I realized psychology was a thing until maybe 4th or 5th edition,
That's good.
Or I remember not knowing.
Yeah.
I didn't know how AP worked. I wasn't too sure. I was just like, I knew there was strength and you rolled a d6, but I didn't know what the AP thing was. So everything I think got armor saves anyway.
True.
Yeah, and I think that is a part of it when you're thinking about that. The golden age, like you were saying, John, is we remember it more fondly, but we were probably untroubled by a lot of the rules because we didn't know them, rather than they weren't necessarily there. Because actually, is one of the great things about wargaming, as someone who grew up with the WRG 7th and the sound of the guns and signal for close action booklets, which were just booklets with a lot of tables in them.
Wow.
Wargaming rules have become much more sophisticated. They become much simpler and they become much more fun. Warhammer's mechanics are not poor. There's just so many levels on any given interaction. It's so far removed from the this model has a to hit number and the number that it is hit on. It's like, at that level, I enjoy this game. You know what I mean? But in 2 weeks' time, we got Discord back on, so we can slag off for an hour, non-stop.
You've been too negative already.
Yeah. So, Dwayne, what is it about the Irish YouTubers? Is you, the Discourse is Irish. Ollie's Irish. You guys are like nailing it, man. You can take it over.
I wouldn't put myself in the same category sentence-wise with those folks. Like, I barely have a channel. But yeah, they're doing well. They are. Fair play to them. Getting some good representation out there. I am fond of watching a Discord video or two when I'm happy to watch someone bash GW. It's always
I'm relentlessly 3 times a week. She'll bash GW again and again.
It's entertaining. There's only so much of it I can take, but and that's not as a fanboy. I'm just like, all right, I'm bored of this now. But every now and then I go for me fix, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You and your brother definitely have those rose-colored glasses. Oh, that's
rose tinted. Yeah,
talking about you, John, isn't it? Yeah. Well, that's just about time. We really should have a look at this Alpha Strike thing, shouldn't we, John?
I mean, I do like the thought of it. I really do. And if it is a simpler version, I'm really down for that. So yes, please.
There was I'd forgotten. I'd put it up there and then not responded to it. Xenos Rampant in November. Is there going to be a blue book?
Ooh, yeah, another blue book. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but I know Lion Rampant, so it's going to be the same but different.
Yeah, I've had a look at one-page rules because one of the groups of kids at school is trying it.
Oh wow!
And the 40k version of it is not simple. I don't care what anyone tells you; it isn't simple. And in particular, they were really struggling with the fact that it can't use 40k language. So the guy's got his Tau collection and he's looking at this list of stats, trying to work out which of these guns are supposed to be. What's what?
Right. Well, copyright stuff. It's like they can't just say this is your pulse rifle or whatever.
Exactly. You know, so but I did try and point out to him, said the whole point is you're playing a system where it doesn't matter. You pick, choose, say which one it is. It doesn't. That's Games Workshop that makes you think like that. That this specific thing has to be this specific thing. Whereas other systems, model agnostic, as long as all your pulse rifles look the same.
Right. Yeah, that's difficult to switch though, right? That mindset.
Yes, absolutely. I love the fact that John bought the speed paints because Warlord sent me one, and he told me, like as I was unwrapping it, he said, "I'm going to go on him speed paints." I said, "Warlord literally sent me one."
Literally gave them to you.
They do that not because they love me; it's because we have a trade account with them. That is why. If you didn't know, modelingforadvantage.co.uk. If you're in the UK and you want to just pay more for your miniatures, buy them from us. Modelingforadvantage.co.uk. We can't be as cheap as the big boys because we're not big boys, but each purchase does help support the channel. Also been sent, because he was on the other week, is Great Escape Games. Stuart has sent Dead Man's Hand. This is their new starter set. And he said it was like 35 quid.
Yeah, man.
It's nice, mate. When you come around tomorrow, maybe we'll do an unboxing, right?
All the bits.
I love the fact that they're cards. They're all playing cards.
Yeah.
Give me that style. Where did you get to with your hobbying, John?
So I've completed the basing of the Footsword miniatures, all 4 of them. Hurrah!
What? Let's have a look at that again.
What? Oh, you want to have a look again? So this is random dude, old boy. That doesn't help. They have grass and stuff now.
Yeah, this is for tomorrow's SPQR game. Nice.
Yeah, random dudes.
Skarnir, look at that. He's finished painting one of them.
Whoa!
This is an old guy, never mind him. But yeah, I've just been throwing some Vallejo black primer onto some of them, even though this is terribly out of focus. I do apologize, gentlemen. I will have it down to a fine art next time. But yeah, I've just thrown some primer on some mechs, some metal mechs.
Nice. You use the brush on primer?
Oh yeah, it's either or, but I always brush it on. It's streams. Like I always do like either priming or base painting because it doesn't take concentration whenever I'm doing a stream, and I can brush it on. So it's like fine detail. You sort of go into tunnel vision, and the conversation dies off.
Yeah.
So I specifically either prime or do base coats when I'm streaming.
See, this is because you've been streaming for years, haven't you? You're not like some kind of COVID new guy.
I had to learn that. Yeah, I had to learn that
this years ago. All right, guys. Yeah, and I got a little bit more green on those. It is a different one.
Oh, it is a different one. I thought it was the same one.
No. I've been working a pair of them. Getting
right.
Gonna start dry brushing them up. Yeah. So we are going to be recording SPQ. So SPQR. World of Tanks and Miniatures game, Kill Team, and the other one.
Yeah, the other one.
I've forgotten. Project Z. are all videos that we have recorded, which you should be seeing over the next several weeks. Then get back into showing you a battle report once a week. Skarnir, it's been a real pleasure having you. Just remind the beautiful people at home where they can find you, because your YouTube channel can be difficult to find if you don't spell it right.
Plasticraic Gaming. So it's crack is CRAIC is the channel. You can find me.
The
there.
original plastic crack.
And
just to say that.
There's only one. So Plasticraic. It's one. It's one word.
Plasticraic. One word.
Crack.
Yeah, with only one C in the middle of it. Because I was looking for it today.
Yeah, you know, God forbid I'd make things easy for, you know, people to be able to view the content that is there, you know.
Yeah. All right, guys. And in 2 weeks' time, as I said, we're going to be back with Discord, keeping up the Irish theme. I have to get in touch with Broadsword Ollie, I suppose. As we do like a full set 1 month. Anyway, it's been lovely to have you here. Take care, folks. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.